This is Lawrence with Genesys Publishing with a preview of the ebook entitled Israel, a One-State Solution. Now, despite one's religious or cultural backgrounds and beliefs, here at Genesys Publishing, this book has been written from the perspective of the Holy Bible and the great book of Genesis, where we find that God enters into a covenant, an everlasting covenant with his servant Abraham, to which he provides a divine title deed to the land known as Palestine or Israel. Now, we know that over the centuries, over the millennia, this small parcel of land, perhaps maybe 300 miles from north to south and 100 to 200 miles east to west, has been the most highly fought over and contested parcel of land in the world. Now, what lies at the root of this conflict over this piece of land? Well, if you go into the Holy Bible, the book of Genesis, you will see the inherent conflict that arises from Abraham's two sons. Isaac is decreed and anointed by Almighty God, and Abraham's illegitimate son through his maidservant Hagar, Ishmael. And then a generation later, we see the servant Isaac giving birth to two sons. The one, the younger, anointed by Almighty God, Jacob, but yet his older brother, Esau, not receiving the covenant and the blessing from his father, Isaac. And this conflict has raged for the last 3 to 4 millennia. Israel maintained and occupied the land for many years, was decreed by God to drive out all people groups and other people who occupied the land of Palestine, ultimately known as Israel. We know that in A.D. 70, the Roman Empire destroyed the city of Jerusalem. And that ultimately gave way to the occupation of Jerusalem and much of Israel, Palestine if you prefer, by Islamic nations, up until the time of A.D. 1948. And following World War II and the Balfour Declaration, the United Nations, supported by the United States, President Harry Truman and others, granted or re-granted, if you will, the land of Palestine to the Jews, who basically gave rebirth to the nation of Israel and emigrated, especially from the Pale of Settlement, which we commonly know today as Eastern Europe and the Western provinces or states of the former Soviet Union, as well as from Ethiopia as well. But today, here in 2017 and beyond, we see a land that is, yes, occupied by the Israelites, defended by the Israelites, but highly contested by a number of groups, most of which do not have the best interests of the Jews in mind and want, frankly, to conquer the Jews and drive them into the Mediterranean Sea. They include Hezbollah, Hamas, the Palestinian Authority, the Al-Aqsa Martyr Brigade, and beyond. And they will take any measures that they possibly can, equipped and enabled, if you will, financially and militarily, particularly by Syria and as well as by Iran, to kill Israelites and help make inroads to potentially conquer this nation. Now, whatever your political and or religious beliefs are, we respect them, but this particular ebook takes the position of Israel owning the land as decreed by Almighty God Yahweh and occupying it for eternity in a state of peace and joy for all who live there. We think you'll find it an interesting read. This is Lawrence signing off for Genesys Publishing. Our book is available for those of you that use Kindle on the Kindle store, and those of you who use non-Kindle e-readers on Smashwords. And both URLs are listed directly below this video. We hope you find it an interesting read, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.